Conversion is the task of a moment, but sanctification is the task of a lifetime. In our first reading today, we see the perfect example of this task of a moment being accomplished. We see the high priest Hilkiah, the scribe Shaphan, and the king receive in a new way God's word. And it is as if they heard it for the first time. And when they heard it, the word immediately captured their entire being. They recognized its truth, and they set out to work to fulfill all of the Lord's commands. Similarly, for us, when we hear God's word, we have to hear it with the same promptness and with the same joy and the same effort. We need to push forward to enact God's truth and God's love in our lives. A saint, Saint Edith Stein, had a similar story. She was a Jewish intellectual, and she was with some friends, and one night she was staying at a friend's house, and near the room where she was staying, she found a biography of Saint Teresa of Avila. That night, for whatever reason, she picked up that book of Saint Teresa of Avila, and she read it from one cover to the other. And by the morning, she had finished the book. She closed the book and she put it down, and then she said to herself, "This is the truth." Conversion is the work of a moment, but sanctification is the work of a lifetime. And sure, she set herself for that sanctification till at the ultimate moment of her life, she offered her life as a martyr to witness the truth of the gospel. Even in my own life, I can think of one experience I had where I was on a retreat with some friends in high school. And when I was at the retreat, I heard the different speakers. And I remember hearing the speakers and just knowing when they would speak that it was true. In fact, I remember them telling us different things like we had to go to Mass on Sunday. And for whatever reason, when they said it that one time, I knew in my heart that it was the truth and it was to be followed. But most importantly, in that retreat was I heard about the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. And I remember being there, and they had the adoration, and I would look at the consecrated host. And as I looked at the host, I would say or pray, I guess, in my heart of hearts, "Are you there? Are you really there?" But without having the words to describe it, I knew, yes, he was there. For all of us, God gives us his inspirations when we're ready to receive them. And if we receive them with joy, then it's true that conversion is the work of a moment or the task of a moment, but sanctification is the work of a lifetime. So for all of us who've had the joy of receiving God's word, let us not grow slack in striving to follow him even closer, so that when we come to the end of our lives, we may indeed be the good trees which have borne great fruit.